It said that Thangka is the most poisonous painting. It said that Thangkas are painted with life. Thangka painters eat the most pigments. It will shorten their life. Is it true? Some people say mineral pigments in Thangka contain mercuric sulfide and arsenic. Painters will be poisoned. But the old painters told me that the toxicity has been tamed by traditional techniques. Look at the murals in the Dunhuang grottos and temples. We can see works painted with mineral pigments. There were indeed cases of poisoning in the past, but now have long replaced these very dangerous pigments. Replaced them, now painters draw Thangkas, have been painting for over 20 years. They live over 70 years, in good health. These painters sit and paint Thangkas from morning to night. Their eyes and waist are really tired. So 20 or 30 years old is the peak of painters. Those over 40 basically draw large Thangkas. Mineral pigments mainly have unique colors and thousands of years of non-fading. Mineral pigments are mainly extracted from coral, pearls, jet gemstones, and so on. In the traditional Thangka painting pigments, there are more than 20 kinds of mineral pigments. There are also plant dyes. The colors that can be matched are various. In addition, there is also a gold powder pigment ground from gold foil. This is also why many people think that the paints are valuable. So, is Thangka painting just casual? Nowadays, before the painters draw Thangkas, they usually recite scriptures, rules of the feeding sacrifice ceremony. Before the face of the Thangka is painted, they will burn incense and so on, or choose a good time. Of course, it's not all like this. Thangka has 3 main styles, such as the Karma Kagyu painting school in Tibet, New Mintang school in Regong, and Nepalese school, Thangka painting, and typical painting. It is definitely different. It can be said to be the most complex painting. You see, for example, from the first step of making canvas, mixing the paint, then draw the draft. Coloring and shading, hooking, and gilding, trace and all, and gild, engraving. And there are many techniques involved. The themes are mainly Tibetan Buddhism and some Tibetan cultural elements. Different Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Terra, wrathful deities, and founders of sects, and so on. Moreover, the painter must know the Dual Yang Sutra in his mind and have a composition. I have never seen a painter who I put a draft aside and then I look at it and I draw a stroke and then copy it. It's not like that. This measurement is engraved in the mind. So, can art students draw Thangkas? I can't draw well. The Thangka painters start to create their own works. They usually spend 10 or 8 years. 8 years of study. This art has been passed on to now. Many local painters, they will teach apprentices, teaching a dozen of children, and it's free. No, it's free. They have this inheritance. But now Thangka is influenced by commercialization. One thing is that we know that learning to draw the draft. Some children have learned 4 years, but now many children have skipped learning to draw the draft. Why is that? They pursue speed. To produce quickly, to supply the market, they directly use printed sketches. Now, many people try to draw Thangkas by themselves. And there are also some experienced classes. But I think to myself, the complexity of Thangka is a bit terrifying. This art has been included in UNESCO's Intangible Cultural Heritage. It's really not simple